Ignorance can sometimes offer solace, especially regarding unsettling events like shark encounters. These incidents are often loaded with gruesome details, which can be unsettling for the faint-hearted. However, let's get into this if you possess the nerve to get into such matters. With the Australian fishing sector facing a critical shortage of skilled workers due to an aging workforce, an innovative apprenticeship program emerges as a beacon of hope. As fishing stocks strengthen and the industry adapts to new regulations and competition, there's an urgent need for fresh talent to sustain its vitality. Traditionally, entering the fishing industry required practical skills and often a familial background in the trade. However, breaking into the industry proved a formidable challenge for individuals like 24-year-old Mia Cameron from New South Wales. Despite possessing some practical skills, Mia encountered skepticism and rejection when she approached Australian docks for employment, primarily due to her lack of prior water experience and gender. Undeterred by the initial setbacks, Mia remained determined to pursue her passion for fishing. Mia's fortunes turned positive when she discovered the Fisherman Apprenticeship Program offered by the Commercial Fisheries Centre of Australia in partnership with the Department of Fishery at the University of Australia. This comprehensive program, spanning 30 days, pairs each trainee with an expert fisherman who provides personalized instruction in every aspect of the fishing industry. The intensive 30-day curriculum includes a blend of classroom instruction and hands-on training, meticulously crafted to equip apprentices like Mia with the practical skills and experience fishing captains demand. For Mia and her cohort of fellow apprentices, this training program represents a crucial pathway into an industry where experience often serves as the golden ticket for entry. During this transformative training program, Mia was paired with Freddie King, an experienced fisherman who was assigned to be her instructor. Under Freddie's guidance, Mia embarked on a journey of discovery, learning the intricacies of fishing techniques, navigation skills, marine safety protocols, and the sustainable management of fishing resources. Freddie's mentorship went beyond the technical aspects of fishing. He also provided invaluable insights into the rich maritime heritage of Australia and instilled in Mia a profound respect for the ocean and its inhabitants. Mia honed her abilities through countless hours aboard fishing vessels, gaining confidence and competence with each passing day. Under his guidance, Mia received invaluable training to prepare her for life on the open water. From learning the intricacies of navigation to mastering the art of netting and gutting fish, Freddie ensured his apprentice was ready to hit the ground running when she joined any fishing crew. As their bond deepened through shared experiences and countless hours spent at sea, Freddie and Mia became more than just mentors and apprentices. They became close friends and trusted companions. Together, they embarked on numerous adventures, each a testament to their skill, courage, and camaraderie. One such adventure, however, would become the talk of the town, leaving Freddie and Mia with a lasting impression. Days of meticulous preparation preceded their daring expedition, as they meticulously planned every detail of their journey to capture the elusive great southern reef sharks off the rugged coast of Australia. With the sun sinking low on the horizon, casting a golden hue over the shimmering waters, Freddie and Mia set out into the vast expanse of the open sea. Guided by Freddie's expert navigation skills and Mia's unwavering determination, they easily navigated treacherous currents and unpredictable weather conditions. The boat rocked against the waves, testing Freddie and Mia's skill and resolve as they fought to maintain their balance. But they pressed on, their eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of their elusive prey. Hours passed, and their fishing lines remained empty, the sharks proving to be as elusive as ever. But Freddie and Mia refused to give up hope, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. They knew that patience was key when hunting great southern reef sharks, that sometimes the thrill of the chase was worth the wait. As the afternoon wore on and their anticipation mounted, Freddie and Mia decided to change tactics in their quest for the elusive sharks. With determination, they reeled in their net and set course for a new location, hopeful that a change of scenery would increase their chances of a successful encounter. Suddenly, Mia's sharp eyes caught sight of a dark shape moving gracefully through the water. With a gasp of excitement, she nudged Freddie, her heart pounding as she pointed toward the distant figure. They sprang into action without hesitation, readying their gear for the challenge ahead. As they sailed after the mysterious creature, Mia's excitement reached fever pitch at the possibility of encountering a shark up close. But their excitement quickly turned to terror as, without warning, a massive shadow emerged from the depths below, hurtling towards them with frightening speed. Before they could react, the shark slammed into the side of the boat with bone-jarring force, sending Freddie and Mia tumbling into the water below. The impact reverberated through the vessel, leaving it listing dangerously to one side, as seawater flooded the lower compartments. For Mia, who had never experienced such a terrifying ordeal before, fear threatened to overwhelm her as she struggled to keep her head above water. But Freddie's calm demeanor and quick thinking helped steady her nerves as they fought against the icy cold of the ocean. Drawing on his years of experience as a seasoned fisherman, Freddie knew that their best chance of survival lay in finding solid ground to stand on. With adrenaline coursing through their veins, they swam frantically through the frigid waters, their muscles burning with exertion as they searched for a haven. Despite the biting cold taking its toll on Mia, they pressed on, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. And finally, after an eternity, they spotted a rocky outcrop jutting out from the water's surface. With renewed hope, Freddie and Mia made a desperate dash for the safety of the rock, their hearts pounding with relief as they clambered onto its rough surface. But their ordeal was far from over, as they watched in horror as the shark continued to circle hungrily in the water below, its dorsal fin slicing through the waves with deadly precision. With no means of communication, because the water had destroyed their cell phone and the sinking realization that they were stranded at sea, Freddie and Mia knew they had to act fast to have any hope of survival. It was then that Freddie remembered the red cloth he had been wearing, and with a sense of urgency, he tore it off and began waving it frantically in the air, hoping to attract the attention of passing vessels. Hours passed, and their hopes faded as darkness fell over the ocean, shrouding them in a veil of uncertainty. But just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a faint glimmer of light appeared on the horizon, growing steadily brighter as it drew closer. It was a passing vessel that had spotted their distress signal and come to their rescue. As they were pulled aboard the safety of the ship, Freddie and Mia breathed a collective sigh of relief, their bodies trembling with exhaustion and relief. Back on dry land, Mia was taken to the hospital to receive treatment for the shock she had suffered. Despite the harrowing ordeal they had endured, her passion for fishing remained undimmed. If anything, the experience had only strengthened the bond between her and Freddie, forging a friendship that would endure long after the memory of their brush with danger had faded. In the quaint coastal town of Monterey, California, young Sarah grew up surrounded by the salty sea air and the mesmerizing sights of the Pacific Ocean. From a young age, her parents, David and Elizabeth, instilled in her a deep love and respect for the ocean, taking her on frequent trips to explore the tide pools and sandy beaches that bordered their hometown. David would regale Sarah with tales of his adventures at sea, recounting thrilling encounters with majestic whales and elusive dolphins. Meanwhile, Elizabeth, a gentle soul passionate about marine conservation, would teach Sarah about the delicate balance of ocean ecosystems and the importance of protecting marine life for future generations. Inspired by her parents' love for the ocean, Sarah spent her childhood exploring every nook and cranny of the coastal landscape, her curiosity piqued by the myriad creatures that called the ocean home. She spent countless hours combing the shores for seashells and observing the intricate dance of tide pool creatures, her fascination growing with each discovery. As she grew older, Sarah's passion for marine life only intensified. She knew from a young age that she wanted to dedicate her life to studying the ocean and its inhabitants. Encouraged by her parents, she pursued her dreams with unwavering determination, excelling in her studies and immersing herself in all things marine biology. Upon graduating from high school, Sarah set her sights on pursuing a degree in marine biology at a prestigious institution. With her parents' unwavering support, she packed her bags and bid farewell to her childhood home, eager to embark on the next chapter of her journey. At the institute, Sarah enthusiastically threw herself into her studies, immersing herself in a world of scientific exploration and discovery. Under the guidance of esteemed professors, she delved into the intricacies of marine biology, studying everything from microscopic plankton to massive whales. However, during her graduate studies, Sarah's passion truly ignited as she delved into the world of shark research. Fascinated by these enigmatic creatures, she dedicated herself to unraveling the mysteries of their behavior and ecology, determined to shed light on their often misunderstood lives. For her PhD dissertation, Sarah embarked on an ambitious research project, aiming to study the elusive sharks that roam the remote waters of the Pacific Ocean. Armed with a thirst for knowledge and a spirit of adventure, she set out on an expedition to one of the most isolated islands in the region, determined to uncover the secrets of its underwater inhabitants. As Sarah arrived on the pristine shores of the Pacific Island, she was greeted by the warm embrace of the tropical breeze and the rhythmic lull of the waves. With her research equipment in tow, she wasted no time getting to work, setting up camp on the beach, and preparing to dive into the azure depths below. Over the following months, Sarah devoted herself wholeheartedly to her research, spending long days and nights tracking the movements of the island's shark population. Armed with underwater cameras and tracking devices, she observed their behavior keenly and meticulously documented their movements and interactions. One fateful day, while exploring a series of underwater caves nestled among the rugged cliffs of a secluded island, Sarah made a discovery that would change the course of her expedition. Hidden within the shadows of a dark cavern, she encountered a species of shark unlike any she had ever seen. Sleek and muscular, with razor-sharp teeth and an unmistakable air of aggression, it prowled the depths with a predatory grace that sent shivers down her spine. Determined to learn more about this enigmatic creature, Sarah cautiously approached, her heart pounding with excitement and trepidation. Using her underwater camera, she captured footage of the shark's behavior, noting its hunting tactics and territorial instincts. But as she delved deeper into the cave, disaster struck. A sudden rock slide sealed the entrance to the cavern, trapping her deep beneath the surface with only a dwindling supply of oxygen to sustain her. Panic threatened to engulf her as she realized the gravity of her situation. Still, she forced herself to remain calm, drawing upon her years of training and experience as a marine biologist. With her mind racing, Sarah assessed her surroundings, searching for any possible means of escape. The formidable shark fixed its predatory gaze upon her with unerring intensity. At that moment, she knew that her only chance of survival was outsmarting the creature that now shared her underwater prison. Drawing upon her knowledge of marine biology, Sarah began to formulate a plan. She observed the shark's behavior, noting its patterns and vulnerabilities, and identified potential weaknesses that she could exploit to gain the upper hand. With each passing moment, her oxygen supply dwindled further, urging her to act swiftly and decisively. As the shark tries to approach her, Sarah also makes sure she moves from her previous position. That's when the shark leaves the opening, and Sarah escapes. But just as victory seemed within reach, disaster struck once again. Enraged by her escape, the shark launched a relentless counterattack, its powerful jaws snapping at her heels with ferocious intent, but missed. Desperate and running out of options, Sarah frantically swims towards the vessel. With her oxygen supply dangerously low and her strength waning, Sarah propelled herself towards the surface with all the determination and resolve she could muster. As she broke free from the suffocating embrace of the ocean depths, she quickly removed her oxygen and gasped for air, her chest heaving with exhaustion and relief. As Sarah clung to the safety of the research vessel, she knew that her encounter with the aggressive shark had been a harrowing ordeal that had tested her courage and resourcefulness in ways she had never imagined. But amidst the chaos and danger, she had also discovered a newfound sense of strength and resilience, a reminder of the indomitable spirit that lay within her as a scientist and explorer of the natural world. In a water area like California, Christmas or New Year celebrations aren't complete without youth, old, male and female, exploring the water. However, that drastically reduces when various sharks are sighted in the ocean. So warnings were sounded to every citizen, but not 17-year-old Tyler Dodge. Despite the warnings of recent shark sightings echoing in his mind, Tyler couldn't resist the allure of the ocean, the rhythmic pulse of the waves calling out to him like an old friend. He had previously told his mom about visiting the ocean after they returned from church service on Christmas Eve. Still, his mom decided against it because she knew Tyler wouldn't obey her once they reached the water, and he would surf as he always did. When he discovered his mom wouldn't allow that, he told her he was going to his friend's place. Tyler and his friend Gary were in the same class and were close enough, so Tyler's mom didn't object to that. But Tyler went there to convince Gary about going to the ocean. Gary insists he won't swim in the ocean, but Tyler can follow him in case. It's as if Gary knew what would transpire when he said that. So the two of them set out for the beach. Tyler stood with Gary at the water's edge, his surfboard tucked under his arm, a sense of exhilaration coursing through his veins as he prepared to defy the beach closure and catch a few waves before dusk. Tyler waded into the surf while Gary sat on one of the long chairs at the beach. The cool water enveloped Tyler like a comforting embrace as he paddled towards the break. As Tyler caught the first wave, the thrill of the ocean washed away any lingering doubts. He felt alive, invigorated by adrenaline coursing through his veins. With each cresting wave, he pushed himself further, riding the swell with practiced skill and abandon. Tyler felt a sense of invincibility, a reckless disregard for the dangers lurking beneath the surface. But as dusk descended upon the beach, casting a shadowy veil over the ocean, Gary called on him to exit the water so they could return home. However, at that moment, Tyler felt most alive, the rush of the waves intoxicating him, so he disregarded Gary's call. Not long after that, Tyler's sense of euphoria was shattered by the sudden realization that he was not alone in the water. A dark shape materialized beneath him, its massive form looming ominously in the depths below. With a sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach, Tyler knew that he had become the target of a great white shark. Drawn to the surface by the irresistible scent of blood and the thrashing movements of its unsuspecting prey. Panic gripped him like a vice as Tyler's mind raced with thoughts and emotions. He frantically paddled with his surfboard, trying to distance himself from the predator as much as possible. However, the shark closed in with terrifying speed, its sleek silhouette cutting through the water with deadly intent. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, Tyler's instincts kicked in, propelling him to take desperate measures to evade the jaws of the oncoming predator. He dodged through the water, hoping to confuse the shark with his erratic movements, but his efforts were in vain. In a flash of movement, the shark lunged toward him, its razor-sharp teeth inches away from tearing into his flesh. In a last-ditch attempt to escape, Tyler pushed himself to his limits, pushing his body to move faster than he ever thought possible. But Tyler plummeted into the churning depths below as the shark's jaws closed around his surfboard, wrenching it from his grasp. The shock of the cold water enveloped him as he tumbled through the ocean, disoriented and vulnerable. Tyler's senses were heightened in the murky darkness, every heartbeat echoing in his ears as he struggled to find his bearings. Summoning every ounce of courage and determination, Tyler fought to stay afloat, his heart pounding as he searched for a means of escape. But the shark was relentless, its cold, dead eyes fixed upon him with an intensity that sent a chill down his spine. As the seconds ticked by with agonizing slowness, Tyler knew that his only hope of survival lay in outsmarting the fearsome predator that now threatened to claim his life. And it was at that moment that he remembered Gary had come with him. He screamed his friend's name several times, but Gary was lost in his world, busy with his phone and headset. Miraculously, Gary lifted his gaze to see what Tyler was up to and called out to him. That's when he saw his friend struggling against the formidable predator. While Gary shouted at his friend, the shark clenched its jaws around one of Tyler's thighs, and his screams for help turned into agonizing cries. With no one around to assist, Tyler was pulled underneath the water. It could have turned into a gory incident if the shark had dragged him away, but instead it released him after a few terrifying moments. Tyler floated back to the surface, but he fainted from the encounter's shock. Meanwhile, on the shore, Gary realized that Tyler was far away, and he couldn't swim very well, especially not in these deadly waters. He sprinted to the nearby beach community without hesitation to call for help. Gasping for breath, Gary explained the situation to the locals, his words tumbling out in a rush of panic and urgency. Within minutes, a team of experienced lifeguards and paramedics sprang into action, racing towards the attack scene with all the speed and efficiency they could muster. As they reached the water's edge, Gary led them to where he had last seen Tyler, his heart pounding with dread at the thought of what they might find. But he couldn't be found easily. Search parties scoured the coastline, their shouts echoing across the deserted beach as they combed the shoreline for any sign of the missing surfer. Gary had called Tyler's mom, and soon, loved ones began to arrive at the beach, their faces etched with worry as they joined hands in prayer. The issue had become so widespread that the authorities dispatched helicopters to aid the search. Helicopters buzzed overhead, their searchlights cutting through the darkness as they scanned the turbulent waters below for any sign of life. As the minutes stretched into an agonizing eternity, hope began to wane among Tyler's loved ones. Their hearts weighed heavy with fear and uncertainty as they waited anxiously for news of his fate. But when all seemed lost, a faint figure was spotted on the waves, a beacon of hope in the darkness that spurred the search into overdrive. With renewed determination, the search parties redoubled their efforts, their eyes fixed on the distant figure. The helicopters moved closer to illuminate the figure, revealing that it was indeed Tyler, battered and bruised but alive. As Tyler was pulled from the water, his loved ones heaved a sigh of relief. However, their relief was short-lived as they realized that Tyler remained almost lifeless. He was quickly hauled into a waiting ambulance, which raced him to one of the best hospitals in the city. Despite the efforts of the medical team, Tyler's condition remained critical. The doctors informed his family that he had slipped into a coma due to the severe impact of the shark attack. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months as Tyler lay unconscious, his loved ones by his side, praying for his recovery. After what felt like an eternity, Tyler finally began to show signs of improvement. Slowly but surely, he emerged from his coma, blinking in confusion as he struggled to make sense of his surroundings. His family rejoiced at the sight of him waking up. Their prayers were finally answered after months of uncertainty and fear. Tyler underwent intensive rehabilitation in the following weeks to regain his strength and mobility. His recovery was slow and arduous, but with the unwavering support of his loved ones and the dedication of his medical team, he made remarkable progress. After nearly 20 months in the hospital, Tyler was finally deemed well enough to be discharged. Though he still bore the physical scars of his ordeal, his spirit remained unbroken. He had learned his lesson hard and vowed never again to take unnecessary risks. We always try to debate the extent of a mother's love, but perhaps there's no better example than the Araizos family, who embarked on a trip to one of the secluded islands in the Bahamas. In the summer of 1992, Alejandro, Maria, and their young daughter Anna, just 13 years old, set out for this adventure. Alejandro, a technician in the manufacturing industry, had been granted his much-awaited work leave in August per the terms of his employment. Leading up to this moment, he had diligently saved every penny, knowing that his modest salary alone couldn't fund such a trip. But he was determined to fulfill one of his early dreams with his beloved family. When the long-awaited leave finally arrived, the trio eagerly prepared for their journey. Tickets in hand, they boarded a plane bound for the Bahamas, where they were whisked away to one of the island's posh hotels. Although they were accustomed to visiting beaches in Spain, the anticipation of exploring the famed Bahamas was palpable, especially on Ana and Maria's faces. Alejandro, the supportive husband and father, couldn't help but mirror their excitement. Despite Alejandro's slight apprehension about spending too much time in the water, he didn't want to dampen his family's spirits. So on the third day of their arrival, after they had explored some parts of the town as tourists often do, they all made their way to the pristine shores. Fortuitously, August happened to be a scheduled time for summer vacation in Spain, and as a result, several Spanish families were also vacationing on the island. This sense of familiarity and shared culture made the Araizos feel right at home, enhancing their overall experience. As they frolicked in the crystal-clear waters, laughter and joy filled the air, the worries and stresses of everyday life melting away in the warm embrace of the tropical paradise. Anna's infectious giggles echoed across the beach as she built sandcastles with her parents, her eyes sparkling with wonder and delight. Maria, too, reveled in the simple pleasures of the moment, relishing the opportunity to spend quality time with her loved ones in such a beautiful setting. For Alejandro, seeing the happiness radiating from his wife and daughter filled him with a profound sense of fulfillment. Despite their challenges and hardships over the years, moments like these made it all worthwhile. After a while, the family donned their snorkeling gear and waded into the crystal-clear waters that lapped gently at the shore. Laughter and excitement filled the air. Maria's heart swelled with pride as she watched Ana eagerly immerse herself in the underwater world, her eyes wide with wonder and curiosity. Meanwhile, Alejandro took a break from swimming and retreated to the shade of one of the pavilions that dotted the shoreline. As he lounged comfortably in the shade, he couldn't help but smile as he watched his wife and daughter frolic in the waves, their laughter echoing across the beach like music to his ears. Despite not being as adventurous in the water as Maria and Ana, Alejandro found immense joy in simply being in their presence. His heart overflowing with love and gratitude for his beautiful family. He marveled at their bond, which was forged through years of love, laughter, and shared experiences. As they paddled out into the surf, Maria's heart swelled with pride as she watched her daughter fearlessly tackle each wave with skill and determination. She knew that moments like these were precious, memories that would be cherished forever. For Maria, the ocean was more than just a playground. It was a sanctuary, a place of beauty and wonder that never ceased to amaze her. As she rode the waves alongside her daughter, she felt a profound gratitude for the gift of family and the simple joys life had to offer. Then, to her horror, Ana emerged from the water, only to be pulled back down again with alarming speed. Maria's heart leaped into her throat as she realized something was wrong. Ignoring the pounding of her own heart, she swiftly surfed towards her daughter, her maternal instincts kicking into overdrive. As Maria drew closer, her worst fears were realized. Ana was being dragged underwater by a shark, its jaws clamped firmly around her leg with deadly precision. Panic surged through Maria's veins as she watched helplessly, her mind racing with a desperate need to save her daughter. With every ounce of strength and determination, Maria propelled herself towards Ana, her heart pounding with fear and adrenaline. As she reached her daughter, she grabbed her tightly, trying desperately to free her from the shark's grip. But the shark was relentless, its mighty jaws refusing to release their hold on Ana's leg. Maria knew she needed to act fast to save her daughter from further harm. With no other option left, Maria seized her surfboard and swung it with all her might, aiming for the shark's head. The impact was swift and decisive, causing the shark to release its grip on Ana's leg momentarily. Seizing the opportunity, Maria pulled Ana towards her heart pounding with relief as she felt her daughter's arms wrapped tightly around her. Together, they made their way towards the shore, Maria's protective instincts kicking into overdrive as she shielded Ana from further harm. But before they could reach the safety of the shore, the shark launched itself towards them with terrifying speed, its jaws snapping dangerously close to Maria's calf. With a cry of pain, Maria stumbled backward, her leg throbbing with agony as she fought to protect her daughter from harm. Seeing his family in danger, Alejandro wasted no time rallying nearby tourists to their aid. With a collective effort, they rushed into the water, driving the shark away with shouts and splashes until it disappeared into the depths. Exhausted and shaken, Maria and Ana were quickly transported to the hospital, where they received urgent medical attention for their injuries. In the days that followed, as they lay in hospital beds thousands of miles away from home, Alejandro remained by their side, his love and support unwavering in the face of adversity. Despite their harrowing ordeal, the Araizos family remained grateful for their survival. As they began the long road to recovery, they knew that they would emerge from this experience more robust and more resilient than ever before. Their bond as a family unbreakable, despite even the most significant challenges. In Cresthaven, the sleepy coastal town nestled between rugged cliffs and the endless expanse of the ocean, a sense of unease hung heavy in the air as reports of shark attacks began to spread like wildfire through the community. With each passing day, the townsfolk grew more fearful, and their once idyllic seaside paradise transformed into a battleground of fear and uncertainty. But amidst the chaos and panic, a beacon of hope emerged in the form of a young woman named Maya, whose unique ability to communicate with sharks would soon prove to be the key to unraveling the mystery behind the attacks. and restoring peace to the troubled waters of Cresthaven. As news of the attacks reached her ears, Maya knew she could no longer stand idly by while the creatures she had come to love and understand were demonized and hunted without cause. With a steely determination burning in her heart, she resolved to uncover the truth behind the sudden surge in shark activity and end the cycle of fear and violence that threatened to tear the town apart. Armed with nothing but her wits and her uncanny ability to commune with the denizens of the deep, Maya set out to investigate the root cause of the attacks. Her mind buzzed with questions and possibilities as she delved into the murky depths of the ocean's secrets. Her first stop was the local Marine Research Center, where she hoped to find clues that would shed light on the shark's behavior and point her toward a solution. As she pored over charts and data, Maya's keen eyes caught sight of a disturbing pattern emerging from the depths: a sudden increase in pollution and overfishing along the coastline, driving the sharks closer to shore in search of food and shelter. Determined to confirm her suspicions, Maya donned her diving gear and plunged into the cool embrace of the ocean, her heart pounding with anticipation as she swam towards the reef where the attacks had been most frequent. With each stroke of her fins, she felt a sense of kinship with the creatures that glided effortlessly through the water around her, their sleek forms cutting through the waves with a grace and beauty that took her breath away. As she neared the reef, Maya's heart sank at the sight that greeted her eyes: a tangled mess of discarded fishing nets and plastic debris, choking the coral and ensnaring the marine life that called it home. With a sinking feeling in her stomach, she knew that she had stumbled upon the actual cause of the shark's aggression: the insidious impact of human activity on the delicate balance of the ocean ecosystem. With a heavy heart, Maya knew she had no choice but to confront the townsfolk with the harsh truth of their actions and convince them to change their ways before it was too late. Armed with the knowledge she had gleaned from her underwater investigations and the unwavering conviction of her beliefs, she set out to rally support for her cause and unite the community in a shared mission to protect the ocean and its inhabitants. But convincing the townsfolk to see reason would be no easy task, as fear and mistrust ran deep after the recent attacks. Despite her best efforts to appeal to their sense of compassion and responsibility, Maya met with skepticism and resistance at every turn, her pleas being brushed aside as the townsfolk clung stubbornly to their misguided beliefs. Undeterred by the overwhelming odds stacked against her, Maya refused to give up hope, drawing upon her connection with the sharks and the wisdom they had imparted to her in her darkest hours. With a newfound sense of purpose burning within her, she redoubled her efforts to bridge the divide between humans and sharks and forge a path toward reconciliation and coexistence. Through tireless outreach and education efforts, Maya slowly began chipping away at the walls of ignorance and fear that had divided the community for so long. Her words resonated with authenticity and passion, touching the hearts of even the most hardened skeptics. With each passing day, more and more townsfolk joined her cause, their eyes opened to the interconnectedness of all life and the urgent need to protect the fragile balance of the ocean ecosystem. But as Maya worked tirelessly to unite the community, a new threat emerged from the depths, threatening to derail her efforts and plunge Cresthaven into chaos again. A group of ruthless poachers driven by greed and desperation descended upon the waters of the coast, intent on plundering its riches and leaving destruction in their wake. With the shark's natural habitat under siege and the delicate balance of the ocean ecosystem hanging in the balance, Maya knew that she could no longer afford to remain passive in the face of such brazen disregard for the sanctity of life. She devised a daring plan to thwart the poachers and protect the ocean's inhabitants from harm. Under the cover of darkness, Maya and her allies set out to intercept the poachers before they could unleash their destructive fury upon the waters of Cresthaven. With stealth and precision born of years spent navigating the treacherous currents of the ocean, they closed in on their quarry, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and determination as they prepared to confront the enemy head-on. In a dramatic showdown beneath the starlit sky, Maya and her allies clashed with the poachers in a battle for the soul of Cresthaven and the future of its waters. With each passing moment, the stakes grew higher, the fate of the ocean hanging in the balance as the two sides clashed in a struggle that would determine the course of history. But despite the odds stacked against them, Maya and her allies emerged victorious, their bravery and resilience shining like beacons of hope in the darkness. With the poachers defeated and the shark's natural habitat safeguarded from harm, Cresthaven could finally begin to heal from the wounds of its past and embrace a future of harmony and coexistence with the creatures that called the ocean home. Beneath the azure depths of the Indian Ocean, where sunlight filters through the water like shards of shattered glass, renowned underwater photographer Alex Turner embarked on a quest that would push him to the very limits of his skill and courage. With a small crew and a boat prepared for the journey, Alex set out to capture the elusive beauty of a rare shark species that had fascinated him for years. Armed with nothing but his camera and an insatiable thirst for adventure, Alex braced himself for the challenges that lay ahead. He knew photographing these elusive creatures would require patience, perseverance, and a deep understanding of their natural habitat. But for Alex, pursuing the perfect photograph was more than just a profession. It was a calling, a way of life that had consumed his body and soul since he first dipped beneath the surface and beheld the breathtaking beauty of the ocean's depths. As the boat cut through the waves, Alex's excitement grew with each passing moment. He could feel the thrill of the hunt coursing through his veins, driving him closer to his elusive quarry. With each click of his camera shutter, he sought to capture the raw power and majestic grace of the creatures that roamed the underwater world, their secrets hidden beneath the waves. As he descended into the inky darkness of the ocean's depths, Alex knew he was entering dangerous territory, where the line between life and death was as razor-thin as the edge of a shark's fin. Despite the warnings of his colleagues and the nagging voice of doubt that whispered in the back of his mind, he pressed on, driven by a fierce determination to capture the shot of a lifetime. The pressure of the deep sea weighed heavily on Alex as he navigated through the murky waters, his heart pounding with excitement and apprehension. Every shadow, every ripple in the water seemed to hold the promise of danger, and Alex's senses were heightened to a razor-sharp focus as he scanned his surroundings for any sign of movement. Suddenly, disaster struck in the form of a shadowy figure that materialized from the depths below, its sleek form slicing through the water with deadly precision. Alex's breath caught in his throat as he realized he had stumbled upon a shark, its cold, dead eyes fixed upon him with an intensity that sent a chill down his spine. Panic threatened to engulf him as he struggled to maintain his composure in the face of imminent danger. Every instinct screamed at him to flee, swim for the surface, and escape the predator's jaws that lurked beneath the waves. But Alex knew that he couldn't let fear dictate his actions. He had come here for a reason, and he wasn't about to let a mere shark stand in his way. Drawing upon every ounce of skill and instinct he possessed, Alex made a split-second decision. With a steady hand, he reached for his camera and switched it into recording mode, capturing the unfolding drama in stunning detail. The adrenaline coursing through his veins only heightened his senses, sharpening his focus as he prepared to face the shark head-on. But as the shark's relentless assault continued, Alex realized his camera did not match the creature's brute strength. With a sinking feeling in his stomach, he knew that he risked losing everything, his equipment, footage, and perhaps even his life, if he didn't act fast. Summoning every ounce of courage and determination he possessed, Alex made a split-second decision. He removed the memory card from his camera with trembling hands, safeguarding the precious footage he had risked so much to capture. Then, with a swift and decisive motion, he turned the camera into a makeshift weapon, aiming for the shark's vulnerable gills with all the force he could muster. To his relief, the shark recoiled in pain, giving Alex a brief moment of respite. With the adrenaline coursing through his veins, he knew he had to seize this opportunity to escape while he could. With a surge of strength born of desperation, he propelled himself upwards, breaking through the water's surface with a gasp of air as he raced towards the safety of his boat. As he clambered aboard, relief washed over him like a tidal wave. His body trembled with exhaustion and gratitude as he collapsed onto the deck. Alex surveyed the scene before him with a newfound sense of humility and reverence, the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean stretching out in all directions. Despite the danger and uncertainty that lurked beneath the waves, he couldn't help but feel a profound sense of awe and wonder at the beauty and power of the natural world.